What's going on, everybody? We back again. Another episode of Coffee Talks where I'm curating some of my favorite coffee roasters and leadership talks from some of my favorite people. Man, I got a really good coffee for you today. It's an Alma Coffee. Come on. And this is out of Honduras is where the beans come from. Alma Coffee actually is out of Canton, Georgia. That's where that roaster's from. And actually, Alma means in Spanish, heart and soul. At least that's what I hear, right? So if you Google me something different, you take it up with Alma because that's what they say, all right? But they say the reason they call themselves that is because they put their heart and soul into their coffee. And they actually go out of Honduras. It's a 5th generation coffee or coffee harvester. So this farm for 5 generations have been doing coffee. How amazing is that? And this cup of coffee is awesome. It is definitely more of a blackberry vibe to me. It says on here, rose water, red grape, black tea. I get way more blackberry, more berry taste out of it. It is sweet. It is delicious. I can't tell you enough. I drink it, and man, I've been drinking it every day for the last several days, and I've just been loving it. It is not going to be punchy in the face, though. It's not one of those like you drink a big old cup of blueberries or blackberries, but it is really tasty. Alma? Heart and soul, baby. Good. All right, guys, we back again. Another leadership talk. 21 irrefutable laws of leadership from John Maxwell himself. Remember, I'm giving you the Costco sample. You still got to go buy the package to get the meat, right? So go get the books. It's meaty and tasty. Today, we're talking about the law of navigation. Here's a liner. A line that John says. Anybody can steer the ship, but it takes a real leader to chart the course. What do you mean? Anybody can find themselves in a position and even keep things going as is, but it takes a real leader to go to the next level. True leaders, what John says, are navigators. They understand where the organization needs to go next. They understand where their family needs to go next. They understand where their finances need to go next. They understand where them as themselves need to go next. You're not just stuck in the present. You're also looking forward about where you need to go in the future. And I love the way you get this in your mind. The Bible says it like this. You don't build a house without first counting the cost. Proverbs says you build a house, but first you got to take care of what's going on around on the outside, which means you got to take care of business before you start. You're thinking future minded. So before you leave the dock to take the ship out, you've kind of been planning where you want this thing to go. And so I like that idea of understanding this. Leroy Imes says it like this. A leader is one who sees more than others see, who sees farther than others see, and who sees before others do. What do? They see more, farther, and before. Are you starting to think future-minded? Start getting your mind thinking about where you want to go. And so how do you do that? Well, there's a couple tips that we're going to learn. First off, navigators draw from past experiences, which means past experiences, good and bad, are learning experiences. So many times we don't want failure to happen in our life because we think failure is a bad word. Listen to me, failure is not a bad word. Failure is actually a great thing, because you can learn from it and grow from it. Some of the greatest inventions in the world came from a plethora of failed attempts because they got better with every new try. You need to fail sometimes. Try something new, work on something, and learn from it. You also need to understand navigators examine the conditions before they make commitments. So don't just take every new idea that pops into your head. Look at what's happening inside your organization. Get a feel for your people. Look inside what's happening in your marriage or in your personal life, and then respond based on that idea. Does it go with this season? Does it fit what we're trying to do? Is it in line with the vision? Is it a healthy decision? Guess what? Navigators also listen to what other people are saying. You're going to get a good read for what needs to happen based on the feedback you're getting from people. So in your family, your wife is giving you hints of what she wants from you, and she's telling you what she wants out of her husband. Your wives, your husbands are telling you what they want from you. Children do the same thing. And even in your workplaces, they're talking Are you listening? And you're going to get a good view what your employees want, what your customers want, what your spouse want, what your children want, if you would just listen. And navigators also make sure their conclusions represent both faith and fact, which means you do your research. You make sure you think about what you want to do. You're charting your course. You got a good idea. You're making sure it fits the culture and the vision. You're listening to the people around you, but you're also going to have to take a risk. You're going to have to step out in faith. That means you might have to go and start a new career. It means you might have to start taking away money to put into a savings or an investment. It means you might have to go to college. It means you might have to make a change in your organization that seems crazy. It's not at whim, but it is going to be a step of faith. Here's what I want to encourage you with though. The reason why most of us can never be navigators and we can only be steerers is because we don't have the capacity to give ourselves time to think the way I just talked about. You are so in the weeds. You're so busy. You have no white space to even think about what needs to happen and what people are saying and what is the future and how you need to start carving out every single week white space time. I know that sounds crazy, but if you can't dream for the future, you can't lead into the future. Give yourself time to think the way I'm talking so you can be a navigator and take yourself, your family, and those you lead to the next level. All right, guys. Till next time, let's drink some good coffee and let's lead into the future. Love you guys. Pray God's peace.